here.
I just hit record. Ask Killian Murphy.
Yeah, press R.
Okay, R has been pressed. But I lost sight of you guys.
Is it red?
Now you need to get us
rolling?
back on your screen. Happy International Women's Day, by the way.
Yeah. It's so weird because there's I'm a woman every day.
That's so crazy, patriarchy like that. How it does
weird.
that.
That's like one time my dad was at the grocery store and
Johnny, you're quiet.
I'm
you're
quiet.
Super quiet, bro. Yeah.
That's interesting.
I want.
Just turn it up.
My input.
Yeah,
How's that?
So good.
Yeah, that's
Is that better?
way better. Yeah.
It just somehow turned itself down.
It'll do that.
Fun. Yeah, sorry. I was saying that one time my dad was at the grocery store and a local newspaper, they found him and said, we just wanted to interview you about Valentine's Day, but he didn't know that it was Valentine's Day that day. And he said, is today Valentine's Day? And they say, kind of like, what does your wife think of that? You know what I mean? And he said, well, for me, every day is Valentine's Day.
There
That's
you
the
go.
way. That's how you get out of that one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Respect to your pops there.
That's how you do it.
He kind of meant it, though, I think, but also totally forgot, probably, but also wouldn't care, probably, so.
Is it not as much of a thing in Canada?
Oh, no, it is. He's just a bit of a hippie Luddite type. Like, he doesn't, get alerts or anything like that to such
Tell
things.
Jess about how he's in the tsunami pod captain emergency response team.
Yeah.
Please tell me what that is.
He, well, basically, they live near the water on Vancouver Island, and it's a tsunami sort of hazard zone.
Good Lord.
And
Do you have those down there? You have anywhere down there that's kind of on a tsunami hazard zone?
I'm not so sure about that, but I did
Presumably
see that
everything it's because it's on the San Andreas fault line. Like, that's why up here. So you'd just kind of have the whole city destroyed. We'd have a tsunami, I guess.
it would be the earthquake that takes out LA, not the wave, though. I think it's too far in.
Yeah.
San Francisco, Portland, Vancouver, Victoria, gone.
Yeah, or maybe LAX would get taken out, or
Well,
Right.
you would kind of
Malibu and
I've seen the
Venice.
movie
Malibu,
San Andreas. I know what happens.
Oh, have you guys seen Miracle Mile, by the way? With all this nuclear
No.
ideas. Really? You guys have to see this movie.
Is it kind of like when the
Is it
last
new?
crisis happened and
No.
everyone watched Contagion? Is it that kind of thing?
Yeah, maybe this is the crisis movie that everybody needs to watch.
Nice.
That sounds good. I watched
with
a
the
documentary.
threat
Sorry.
looming. Oh, it's late 80s
I love that period.
LA. Miracle Mile is an area of LA. Are you guys familiar?
No, I wrote a song called Miracle Mile once, though.
And you don't know what Miracle Mile is in LA?
It's on the third Shiloh's album. I meant something different from a Canadian perspective, I think.
Well, it's a neighborhood in LA, but the movie takes place just in that neighborhood pretty much, and downtown a little bit.
Wilshire
But it's
Boulevard.
it's like Wilshire and Koreatown area. But
Maybe
the
that's
movie-
I somehow had that subliminally in my head. I must have.
you must have.
Spent a lot of time in Koreatown with the Good Time Boys, so
Sure you have.
yeah.
I'm
Everybody,
thinking more of, isn't that where all the museums are and stuff?
Yeah.
Are you just on Google Maps right now, seeing what's around there?
It's like the tar pits and shit, and there's
Isn't it kind of
stuff
like isn't it kind of like the La Brea tar pits and stuff?
Exactly.
Isn't there like a Carl's Jr. right there on the corner of?
The movie starts out in a museum and at the tar pits.
One of the things I really like about the Miracle Mile is the May Company department store with its landmark 1939 streamlined modern building. It's on the west and the East Clem Wilson building. I
can see your eyes going back and forth. You're reading that.
Certainly not.
Well, he's just preparing for later of what he's
Your
reading.
teleprompter.
Certainly not reading.
Welcome to Impossible Way of Life. No other way to put it, but your bi-weekly ranking podcast.
100%.
I'd like to introduce our guest Two Timers Club, Jessica Espeleta. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. I was led to believe it was a culinary podcast, but
Well, it was.
It has
But
been at one point.
ranking. I was telling Jess earlier that it's now permeated my entire life to the point that you'd like this, James. That this morning, without even thinking, I was making Alex, my lovely young bride, a coffee.
As you should
and
on International Women's Day.
Yeah, and I ground the coffee, and then I smelled it.
Yeah.
And I shouted into her. I said, "Hey, Alex, I'm pretty sure ground coffee is definitely in my top 5 smells."
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "What's wrong with you? All you're doing is ranking now these days." So.
Yeah, well,
I think I ranked before, like in that same manner, like smells and like favorite, just the best. Like sometimes you smell jasmine at night in LA, and you're like,
night
that's
blooming
number
jasmine
one.
in LA is a real special thing.
Number one,
100%,
right?
really special smell.
Yeah. Do you make
I like
note
the
of it
smell
though?
of-
And
I
like
really
a
like the smell of
Google
cocaine,
spreadsheet
personally,
because
but-
that's what I've been doing.
That's a different thing. Just really like the smell of it.
Love it.
Do you guys think that there are some people who like try to, how we're ranking musicians with this
100%.
system? Do you think there's some people who try to rank absolutely everything in the whole world, and they have like a whole
System?
system and spreadsheet, and then they're trying to figure out like if you could rank like everything, what would
I
be
think
number
that's-
one?
I think
Or,
that's
like,
called autism,
I'm not sure.
but yeah, it's possible. I mean, with smells, I'd say night blooming jasmine's up there for sure.
Right?
Yeah, you have to go you have to go from here about 5.5 hours south until you get to it. You can get it in even in like kind of northern Oregon in the summer, but not up here. We don't get it.
Oh man,
Yeah,
sounds like you need to relocate.
Yeah.
Jessica, I wanted to ask you this. If James, if you'll permit me to be a little bit of a kind of a Charlie Rose, David Letterman here just for a second, because I know we have a lot of fun on this show.
Yeah.
But I just want to ask you, Jessica, a little bit about your history in the LA music scene, because I realized this morning I don't know quite enough about it.
Huh.
Not that it's like,
So,
not
can you guys hear that?
and I'm not trying to kind of put you on the spot here or anything, but you've been down there playing music a long time. Tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, LA 20 years. I did some stuff before that, made some records in different cities. But I'm retired now.
I
Yeah,
respect that.
nice.
Is that because of all the bitcoins you bought? You're independently wealthy.
I mean, I'm just, I'm old. And I haven't written a song or anything in decades, so.
Yeah.
And as far as being a player, there's just way better players out there.
It's not about
So-
being good, though, is it? It's about
No.
attitude.
It's about the hang.
It's about the hang.
That's
Hangability.
right. Hangability, you're
Certainly. Hangability,
near
I feel
10.
like you're
You're
pretty
near
high.
10.
I
We don't rank our friends on this show, though. That's what we say.
Yeah.
Because you don't want things to get there's a lot of different categories that
100%.
it's easy. You think this is why our ranking system it may eerily become the quintessential, because you think, oh, we'll have fun, and I'll be like, oh, Alex Bleeker, whatever, natural stage presence, you can say nice things. Then all of a sudden you get to some category and you're like, there's no avoiding this. I can't give
Yeah.
him a 9 in that category. And feelings get hurt, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
so true.
So.
No, it's true. Well, I mean, I can actually speak like personal, with personal kind of experience of that this week. I was having a jam with my band, and I thought it'd be funny to just try and rank an artist. And we tried to rank Elton John, and it ended in tears. And basically, the rehearsal didn't happen. But I'll tell you what, his score feels correct. That's all I'll tell you.
And what was the score? I found this interesting because I somehow missed the episode where you, like an Olympic thing, you combine the ranking scores and then you get a total.
Right.
100%.
And the total
We've only done
is-
it once, but
Yeah, we've actually only done it once together.
this
Twice,
is going to be
actually, I realize now, looking back.
now we're going to have 3 scores to create an aggregate, though. Right? Or is that what you call it? A composite?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you want to try and do Elton John since I've done it and I can see how it pans out based on what we have?
Wow.
Let's do it.
I mean, am I ranking him the way the world feels about him or the way that I feel
There's
about
a
him?
lot.
Because they're
The way
very
that
vastly
testing.
different.
The
Vastly
beta
different.
testing.
The way that you feel.
Okay. Well,
I think it has to be the way that you feel as a music expert.
I will
mean,
be
that's
lowering your total score there.
But
the way that I
keep
feel
in
about
mind, this is about as a singer. This is about him as a singer.
This is where it gets complicated because it's really difficult. The reason it's difficult is he's the first person we've ranked who really is kind of like doing not only double duty, kind of in the sense that he's like a ripping keyboard player, which is kind of like a hidden attribute, you could say.
Right.
But also like has like, I suppose John Lennon was like this, but has like major cultural capital too. So it kind of like, we're trying to figure out where that ends and begins with some of the categories. Because you're clearly not just judging someone based on their voice, you know what I mean?
And then you just can't. I don't think that you can even put certain people in the same category with like Lennon's writing his own lyrics and Elton John.
Well, that's for sure going to be part of it.
certain categories will reflect that, though. You know,
This
like
is the idea.
This
And
is the idea.
We're beta testing. I can tell you right now.
Fashion, he's going to rank really high.
That's correct.
He's amazing. You know what I
I'll
mean?
let you know right now, for example, and like I appreciate all of the patrons, every single one of them. Very interesting on the last episode here. Michael Beswitheric says, this was one, I'll tell you, all we did was talk about potentially the categories we were going to use to rank things. So it wasn't like we were like, you know, I wouldn't say we're phoning it in. That's the beauty of the ranking system. You can just talk about it endlessly, and it's amazing. He said, this is one of my favorite episodes. A quick thought on the technical category for ranking singers. Should we include clarity of voice and tone throughout the register? We talked about this last week, Johnny.
Yeah.
Because someone like Paul is going to score really high on this, as will Nina Simone. You know, but someone like Lou Reed and Neil will sadly fall short.
So you're talking about like projection,
something like that, I guess.
And clarity, ability to move between notes
Yeah.
effortlessly, and, you know, kind of project and have clarity in those notes, you know.
Yeah. See, it's interesting you say that because I've realized I can do some cool stuff here. And I don't know is this technical if I, for example, like listen to this, I can put on some effects and maybe that makes me have more clarity. Like, hello. I can kind of like talk to you.
Yeah, well,
is
when you
that,
put
for example,
the auto-tune on it, it somehow zeroes in, like,
on
hits
the
me
problem.
harder than
Oh, it hits you harder.
just like a normal, yeah.
Or what about like if, for example, like I'm thinking like, for example, there's like kind of style and stuff like that. I could put on like a Lennon slap.
Nice.
Just like this. You know, I could be like, imagine all the people. This probably needs to be, let me actually like repeat a bit more. Hello?
I like that.
You like
It's
that?
more of a Lee. That's more of a Lee Scratch Perry kind of.
I love it when
What?
I love it when people add scratch.
Sorry,
to the
what?
name.
Oh, I'm
Now
here,
it's
young
long.
lady.
Now it's just Longmont.
Hi, sorry, now I'm back.
I watched a documentary about Lee Scratch Perry last night. That's why I said that.
Respect.
But
cool.
yet you still call him Lee Scratch Perry. Don't if I feel
not
like people
the
that are more
upsetter.
familiar with
Okay, here we go.
Lee
yeah.
Perry call him Lee Perry. They don't have to
Yeah,
add
Lee
the
Perry.
scratch.
Well,
Right?
not all of our listeners maybe know him as Lee Perry. So I try
Really?
to kind of do the like.
You're pandering?
Well, I just try to do the like stage name as like it would say on the front of the LP.
Yeah, you
Or
know what I
whatever.
call him? The upsetter.
Yeah.
So, fuck both of y'all. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh,
Lee
feisty
Byrne.
tonight.
What about Lee
James.
Byrne Perry? That's his real name.
Is it? I thought it was Rayburn or something.
Lee Byrne.
Okay, Liebern's a cool name, actually.
That's a cool name. Why didn't you just
Yeah.
stick with that?
Change the burn to scratch.
That's cool too, though. He used to play lots in Manchester when I was growing up. It's like one of those things, like, there is like something cool about being from there that like you take for granted to some extent, where like just like see like Marquis Smith any night of the week you wanted before he got like famous again. And I never used to think about it, and you'd like go and like, oh, the Fall are playing with like another band, because he'd like break his bands up all the time, or his lineups would change all the time. And same with Lee Scratch Perry. For some reason, he was always there, just like playing to like 100 people. It was amazing.
Did he? I mean, the one time I saw him, he was, at the mic, but I'd rather see him at the controls, right?
You'd rather see him at the like Fisher Price Reverb, for sure. Kind of.
I saw him at
the dub
Amoeba.
station.
Like the scientist lives in LA, and
That's sick.
I don't know if you guys are aware of Dub Club in LA.
That sounds cool.
It's
I do not.
I think
They were talking about the
definitely-
Coldplay song here, right?
Is there a Coldplay song called Dub Club?
No, The Scientist. Sorry.
Oh
I'm just-
no. No, another dread at the controls there. But,
I think we're talking about Hopeton Overton Brown, born in 18th of April 1960 in Kingston, Jamaica, who's a recording engineer and producer who rose to fame
Spot
in
on.
the 1980s. He's a protege of King Tubby.
That's right.
Osborne Ruddock is what I call him. But anyway,
So-
yeah, that's cool.
So
I
now
didn't
that
know he
we've
lived there.
established that, he
Yeah,
lives
thanks.
here, and he, if there's like a lot of people come over from Jamaica to play at Dub Club, it's definitely the largest reggae club in North America, perhaps the world.
That's cool.
Cool.
And it's a friend of mine that DJs there and promotes it. But when certain people come over from Jamaica that Scientist is into, he'll get behind the soundboard and like mix it. It's fucking amazing.
Whoa.
That's really cool.
And he's still he's in his 70s, but he's still around and he's still down to do all that, and it's really exciting.
As
when
far
he
as I
does that.
remember, and I'm like, this isn't like me on the internet right now. He was really hot when he was young, right? He's like a very hot man.
The Scientist.
Yeah. Because a lot of these guys were like natural freaks, like, major dreads and like smoking tons of weed and stuff. But I sort of feel like he wasn't. Like he was just like pretty clean cut, like
He
on
was.
the desk.
I think he
looking
was
real
always
good.
kind of clean cut. Like all the Scientist records are those rad, like comic book style.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly.
Reggae records, and
Yeah.
so he never like put himself out there really. But I think that I don't even know if he ever like grew dreads or anything.
Yeah,
He's always
that's what I'm
been
just
clean
kind
cut.
of clean
Yeah.
cut, handsome man.
Just like behind the scenes.
Yeah. A
Sick.
question
I
that came
saw-
up earlier, sorry to keep going here, Johnny, but a question that came
Yeah.
up, which I think's relevant. It's like someone asked us, who do you think would rank as the fastest band? That was my XLR cable, cheap cable. But
You mean who's plays the fastest?
no, not plays the fastest, like who would run the fastest. I'm thinking of these like clean cut guys, like, like
Well,
Journey would be up there for me.
Well, I
but
was
I'm thinking
telling-
maybe the Scientists up there.
Perhaps, yeah. He seems, I mean, I think he drinks and smokes weed, but he seems fit and he seems very fucking healthy.
I thought
for
about
being in the
this,
70s.
and go ahead, Jess.
Oh, well, when you initially asked me for my top 20, and I'm like, and you gave me that they had to make their mark before 1880, I was like, fuck that, because Kevin Rowland's in my top 20.
1880.
Kevin Rowland
Correct.
is in.
Kevin Rowland. But as far as being fit, like, if you read anything about Dexys, he made his band, he was a sort of a
They were
tyrant
runners.
band
They were
leader.
literally runners.
They were literally runners
Yeah.
because he would make them like nobody could drink before the show and everybody had to run around the venue, like do laps around the venue and jog
Yeah,
before
this-
they hit the stage.
They were literally runners.
I thought,
And
Wow.
they'd like, stole the master tapes from EMI or their label, whatever label. I don't
I thought
know,
about
but
this.
they jumped the
James.
train to like grab the tapes and like break it. They literally ran to
That's cool.
steal their first record back from the label. Or something.
Okay, you guys, I've been trying to say this because
Wow.
I want before I forget. I thought about this and I thought maybe like Huey Lewis and the News because maybe they had like some of those 80s bands that were more like sports,
Fitness-based.
like American Psycho style. We're just
Yeah.
like really into like going to the gym and working out and like not partying and making records. And maybe they're good runners, you know?
Yeah, no, I
Perhaps.
agree completely. A Phil Collins in his peak, maybe. Kind
Maybe.
of the Miami Vice adjacent bands. He's going to die soon, Phil Collins. I think he's going to be one of the next ones to go.
Oof.
He's not well.
Is he not well right now? What's
No, he
going on
doesn't
with
look
him?
well. Like there's something going on with Phil Collins.
That's sad.
Yeah. It's kind of a bit like what happened with Tony Blair, like where like obviously like it's different because he's a war criminal. It's like a completely different energy. But like Phil Collins probably does have like crimes against music. So like it eventually starts
In
eating
some
you from inside and like you
circles.
look like kind of the only thing that keeps like you alive is adrenochrome or something. You know, you really have to go into like a weird energy. But he looks like that. He has that kind of war criminal look.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry about
Like
that.
he's guilty of something.
Yeah,
Crimes
maybe.
against the ears of
Phil the Shill.
music lovers.
Yeah.
I don't mind Phil at all. Love
Me
his
neither.
voice.
I love him actually.
Should we
Strong.
rank him or?
Do you want to rank him right now?
I would love to rank him, but you know what needs to fall into a category is you spoke about I don't know if this falls under another category, but I love when people are huge fans of like Phil Collins. When I think of Phil Collins, I think of how much he loved like certain bands. Like, I don't know if you are aware of this, but he wrote the liner notes to like Rolled Gold, The Action. Do you guys know the band The Action?
Yeah.
I didn't know that though.
He wrote he was the biggest, I think he had a fan club even when he was a teenager in the 60s. In the UK, he was like head of the Action fan club or something.
So
I could be wrong. But he did write the liner notes for like their first like collection or whatever.
Is this
And
kind
he
of
was,
like a-
massively into the Action?
Like a Morrissey New York Dolls thing?
Exactly. And then,
Yeah.
like, you guys were talking about, I remember on one pod, you were talking about, like, you found some list of, like, favorite singers, and you were talking about Patti Smith and her favorite singers.
Rolling
But
Stone.
the whole thing about Patti Smith is her fandom of everybody else. And that comes into play with
that's
everything
what
that she does in her poetry.
we like to call that
100%.
collaboration.
Right. I think
Even
we
though
got rid
it's-
of that. I think it's versatility now.
But
or
now that
something.
falls into versatility.
Yeah.
But I
Just the-
think that, like, because anybody that is crazy fans and all they think about and obsess about is rock and roll, that, and the singers that we talk about, like, and the hangability, like, if they could be on this pod and rank with you, I think that Phil Collins would be able to do that.
he was
Well,
really
that-
good
Patti
in
Smith.
Miami Vice.
See, that's hangability too. So yeah, good point. So I think what we're saying, yeah, I think that some of that stuff does get covered. Like that's a good point. Like yeah, if you can
I
come
would
on
be-
here and rank,
yeah.
your hangability is pretty high. I
That being
think.
said, with Patti Smith, like I like her, of course, but I mean Adam Curtis, who I also really like, he has quite a condemning take on her as a kind of in his documentaries as a sort
do
of like
tell.
as a kind of neoliberal art stooge, like thinking of like abandoned New York as her kind of like artistic playground, you know, and like it's an interesting take that he has of like her kind of relationship with art is like the dawn of kind of like thoroughgoing individualism within like culture and the lack of feeling related to a community that you live in. So she was kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like freaky and cool that New York's like destroyed, but it's like, well, you know, maybe for you, but it's like pretty trippy for other people. But anyway, it's a long take and it's better.
It's a
left
long take
to-
that I don't quite understand.
Yeah,
I
oh,
need to. Which Adam Curtis
I
documentary?
think it's in
is-
hypernormalization. It's in one of the ones that talks about. I think it's hypernormalization because he talks about like the like. I think it's about the one that about Trump buying Manhattan and like the state of Manhattan in like sort of CBGB's era. And there's loads of interviews with her in it, and he kind of takes her apart a little bit.
So is what you're saying, James,
I need
is
to
that
see
that would
this.
affect your hangability score for Patti Smith, or is that what I'm meant to get from
I mean,
that?
to me, like her.
Did she
scene
exploit
is,
the scene so much that the billionaires took over?
No, I think it's like like it's just like no. I think it's like because I think of that scene like as being like gold standard. To be honest, like as a hang, like it feels amazing. Like, but maybe just her like political, like her like fluxus kind of relationship with the city. It's like this city is it's like that kind of like the city is a playground kind of vibe, which
Or
is
the
like,
city is a character in the movie?
yeah, or like if you're like not feeling that you have any debt of community, that we're all just individuals kind of floating around choosing our own adventure or something. But hey, listen,
I think that's very much a product of the new wave of music at that time and cinema and stuff. A lot of people were running around, artists talking like that, and it
Sure.
was like hip to do so,
for sure. Although her scene looked pretty good, I gotta be honest with you.
What looked good?
Her scene, it looks amazing. Like just hanging around with Robert Mapplethorpe in a fucking shitty apartment, taking photos. Seems pretty cool. Not even to talk of Tom Verlaine. When we start ranking him, I mean, guitarists, whew, technique and natural ability real high.
We're getting way ahead of
Singing.
ourselves here.
100%.
We're on singers here, and I want to rank. I worked
I'm
all
ready.
day, and I want to fucking rank someone here. Just
I get a sense, Jess, that you're a bit scared to rank.
I don't know. It's just so hard. There's so many categories flying through my mind. There's
There's
so
only 10.
many.
There's only
my
10
list
categories.
was, but yeah, but you guys decided on the categories.
Yeah,
like,
so
that
this is the
that's no
show.
fair.
This is
Welcome
the
to
show.
Impossible Way of Life, Johnny and James's podcast on ranking.
This is our ranking system. We want you to partake in.
If I'm supposed to fit into your parameters, like, let's go.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We'll
Like,
try.
We're going to talk about
That's
them
what I
a
mean.
little
I
bit.
think
well,
I'm
we
gonna
want to
be
hear. We want to hear
breaking
why.
your rules constantly.
We want to hear why you think why you have the score you do, and also, yeah, if you think the category's flawed as we go through, let's break it
Because
down.
we
All
need
right.
to break it down. We're trying to break this system so it's foolproof. Okay, that's what we're
Okay,
trying to do.
let's do one. Let's do one of what's one of the singers in your kind of on your big master list. Just one. Give me one.
Don't say
something-
Richard Hell.
How about Jim
No.
Morrison? Let's do Jim Morrison.
No.
Okay,
So
okay.
I have been listening spottily to
Okay.
your pods, and within ranking singers, you guys have not talked about Smokey Robinson one time.
Oh yeah, I have.
He's
He's
in
my
top-
number
he's
two.
in-
All
yeah,
he's
he's
my number
in
two
there.
all
I
time.
did-
Let's do
okay,
it.
I missed that. Maybe I was.
Let's do it. I love Smokey. Great. This will make me happy. Let's go. What's the first category, James?
I just want to say beforehand, one thing that is important here
Yeah.
is anything over 70 is like publishable. It's that good. Like
Yeah.
kind of like British degrees where it's like, anything above
If
there
their
is like-
ranking number is over 70, is
yeah,
what
so it's
Out
like
of
there's 10
100,
categories
out of
out of
100.
100. Anything over 70 is really high.
you're saying.
And I'm actually
Okay.
got to say, I've been a bit, I know I accuse you of being a little scared to rank, but I've been a bit scared to get into the soul singers because I have a feeling they're going to do extremely well.
For sure.
And then we're going to have to start reassessing categories.
Well,
And
here-
that's not even to talk about when we do David Bowie because I'm really worried about that.
Well,
here's the other thing is this is what I would say as far as I haven't done much ranking with this system yet. But what I would say is that be fair, but also be critical. You know what I mean? So you don't want to go too high and you don't want to go too low because the system is meant to work. You just don't throw 10s out there and you don't
Johnny,
throw
you had
ones
a really,
out there.
really good point that you made. It's helped
Yeah.
me a lot. And I would
Yeah.
say this is what this mantra comes with the ranking system, the IWOL official ranking system patented, US code 223624.
Yeah.
Think of who is a 10 in the
Yeah.
category and then rank in relation.
Based on that. Yeah.
Yeah. So hangability, Smokey Robinson.
Wait. Back up. Because we say, okay. The thing is, like, do we want to start ranking? You've obviously ranked within categories, yada, yada. But what about, like, if I had a top 20 and, like, Beefheart was in that top 20, but he's completely 100% informed by Howlin' Wolf, but Howlin' Wolf is not in my
It's
top
like
20.
jumping in the ocean, Jess. You never regret it. Just take that first jump. We'll figure it out all together.
But all you got to do right now is just say hangability, Smokey Robinson out of 10. Give us a number. That's it.
He seems like a sweet man. I don't know if he's a party animal, but he's very kind and sweet.
What about the fact that he had a secret love child called Michael Jackson?
I think he's pretty square. I mean, I love the guy, but I think he's kind of like do the show and then go to sleep kind of thing.
Which is a nice vibe if that's the mood.
I think he probably says grace before every meal, right?
He's probably a nice guy, like you say. Really nice guy, so that counts for something. But I would say he's not really going to hang out and you know, crack too many jokes if you're not like working in the studio or, you know, so...
Yeah, just have no idea. I wish I knew more about
him.
This is the issue.
I'm going to say 6 because he's a nice guy. I'll give him a 6.
You know what? I think so too. I think like, you know what? I'm thinking like he's still having fun, whatever he's up to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
So he's not
always
super
smiling.
low. Yeah, he's not super low, but he's not super high. I'd give him a 6.
What about a 5? Because that's right in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring his average down though as a singer. With the fucking hangability.
Oh,
right?
but some people like Van Morrison got like a 2 in hangability though, you know. So,
what would you give John Lennon, Jess?
For hangability?
Dude, he can hang for days. I
Yeah.
would give him a 10.
Wow.
He's fucking funny as shit, and it can hang for days. He gets pissy, but maybe the best hangs get pissy.
Kind of a bad drunk though.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like some of the best, funnest people.
You think
have
some
very
of that
dark
some
moments.
Of the yeah, exactly. And I think that affects the hang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want.
I
his
read
hands
that
on
May
my
Pang
throat.
book. That May Pang book definitely made him seem like not that good a hang. But you know, that's Harry Nilsson might beg to differ on that.
I don't like those photos of him and Yoko like getting out of bed so that the like local maids can clean their fucking bed for peace while they're just like berating them drunk on Brandy Alexander's.
I saw this gorgeous book that was not meant for the public, I don't think. Photos of John and Yoko and Sean in, you know,
Beautiful
probably
family.
1980, and in Japan. They were hanging out there for several weeks or months, and there's all these incredible photos of them, and the hang is sweet and fucking
What do you
lovely.
think McCartney would say about John's hangability? Never said he liked a song of Paul's.
I think he's
Seems
just
like a
going to be
bummer scene.
a sourpuss all the way through. Like McCartney just...
I
What would you
think
give
Ringo.
McCartney?
I think Ringo might be a 10 in hangability, which would place John lower for me. But that's just. I thought we were doing Smokey Robinson.
We're doing
here.
Smokey. I think 5 because we don't know. We need to get a specialist.
How do you feel about that for hangability? And don't worry about the total score. We're trying to see if the system works here. You know, you got to
go
think
6 if you want.
It's too hard when there's someone where you know his voice.
He's
and
going to do
his
okay
lyrics.
on some of the, he's going to do
he's
really
gonna do
well.
we just got to plow through here.
The hang thing is, I just don't want to bring his score down.
Don't
How do
worry,
you
don't
feel
worry.
about vocal technique, his technical ability to sing?
Can we go to 100? Because
Exactly.
Yeah, I think he's a 10 technique, personally. I mean, he's probably my favorite singer, so I think he's a 10 in technique.
yeah, absolutely.
He's got the
100%.
voice of an absolute angel. I mean, it's perfect.
And that doesn't come for
It is
free,
perfect.
that stuff.
No.
That comes
You
with
know what's
training.
what's a fun thing to do is, you know, when you search something on Google and then you see like,
I don't know,
the
I've never
further
done that.
searches
Certainly
the
never
further
done
searches that or like the top searches that everybody does.
Yeah.
And years ago, I read somewhere that like Bob Dylan's very favorite songwriter was Smokey Robinson.
That's a classic
And
Dylan
so
thing to say, though.
I wanted to like remind myself like where I read it or whatever, and I like looked up who is Bob Dylan's favorite, and I first looked up singer, but songwriter kept popping up. Smokey was nowhere to be found. I could not find this quote anywhere.
You
But
know
it's
who
really
said
fun
that?
to like.
John
I
Lennon.
don't remember.
John Lennon said Smokey was his favorite songwriter.
Well, no, okay. Well, sure. Okay. I believe it. But
I've heard that.
also
Yeah.
I've heard that it's Bob's favorite songwriter too. Or
Probably,
he's-
yeah.
I don't know.
What
But
about
yeah, like,
Alice? I thought that was Alice Cooper.
He
He's
said
also
that for a
said
while.
that.
that Smokey is his favorite?
No. Bob Dylan said that Alice Cooper is his favorite songwriter in the 80s.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
He-
But I kept running into Guy Clark. He loves the fuck out of Guy Clark. Guy Clark can't speak. Yeah.
What about Gary Clark Jr.? How does he feel about that guy? Bob's kind of bluesy these days.
I know, but I think Bob
bluesy.
really likes John Prine too.
Did like him.
Every songwriter loves a songwriter. Like
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, the Neil the guys, and they keep them that way. Everyone likes Towns for that reason, right?
Well, speaking of Guy Clark, the most I've seen of him is in Heart When Highways featuring Towns. Have you guys watched that?
No.
Are you fucking kidding
Did Guy
me,
Clark
you
write
guys?
LA Freeway?
James,
What are we
have you
talking
seen
about? Sorry.
Heart-Worn Highways?
What is it?
Oh my god!
I've seen a document. I've only seen a Towns Van Zandt documentary. I've got to be honest with you.
Well,
it's not really
the
my
best
bag.
footage. Listen, the best footage from that Towns doc is taken from this
Right.
70s film, Heart-Worn Highways, and it's a bunch of outlaw country guys.
Yeah.
But it's like Steve Earle when he was 18, Rodney Crowell when he was like 20.
Yeah.
All these country guys that are incredible players and songwriters when they're very fucking young, hanging, Guy Clark, like in his shop, like building guitars. It's beautiful.
It's cool.
Towns, like on his property, like
trailer.
shooting guns, doing shit, drinking at the crack of dawn, and playing songs in his kitchen, and it's amazing. It's an amazing timepiece.
Cool.
It's like it's later 70s, I think, but
I've seen Human Highway.
You mean the CSNY
Human Highway's great,
documentary? I mean, it was going to be their record, wasn't it? Their
Yeah.
tour record, I think.
Yeah.
And that
It's
was
just
like
kind
Human
of.
Highways.
It's just kind of.
Those guys, like, that kind of country, kind of outlaw country vibe. Like, I don't know too much about it, honestly. It's
I
not
mean,
really-
it's
great.
categorized that documentary, or it's like not really a documentary. It's just like a piece of work because nobody's just like, it's just like a camera exploring people where they're at, whether they're playing songs or building guitars or like, what's that motherfucker, rhinestone cowboy guy?
Glenn Campbell.
No, like I'm sorry, who like his son does the rhinestone or the
Oh, nudie suit guy.
no. He's playing in a prison in the movie.
Johnny Cash.
He's driving his own tour bus, and
Haven't
he's just
seen
like
it.
he's like the quintessential outlaw country guy.
Like, he's an old guy?
I thought that was Waylon Jennings.
At the time, he was youngish.
Mason
but
Jennings.
No. What the fuck is his name? And his son is the guy that does the Rhinestone and Cocaine and Rhinestones podcast. Have you guys listened to that?
No.
I didn't know there was. I didn't even know there was a second podcast.
I've never listened to a podcast
Okay.
before.
Hey, but I'll
No,
tell you
really,
what,
I seriously
people-
have never listened
I
to a
certainly
podcast
have.
before.
People listening are going to love this conversation, and we're going to get. And I respect this a lot. So many. You guys should do like a
You
full like
guys.
outlaw country thing. Who's the guy who does it now? The main guy. He's like kind of famous. He's like an outlaw country guy, but it's just he like wears Nikes on stage and stuff.
Good Lord, I don't know.
I don't know. He's
I'm
like
so
really
out of touch
famous.
with
Sturgill Simpson, or something. I think his name is Sturgill
Oh
Simpson.
yeah, Sturgill Simpson.
People
yeah.
like him. He wears like New Balance and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. He's like doing like normcore outlaw country or something.
Oh, gross.
I like the idea of ranking Smokey Robinson's stage presence. How do
Is
you feel
that
about
third?
that?
Is that third?
It is. I mean, this isn't a finalized list. I actually think it's totally what Jess is saying is totally true. Like starting with the hang's kind of intense. That being said, it's all about the hang, as you said earlier too. So
Stage presence.
couldn't tell you.
He's pretty good. I've seen him live
He's
before.
of the school of like,
Less
you're
is more?
like, no. Just like he's not standing stock still on stage. He's being like smiley and welcoming on stage. He's like, he's got a great stage presence.
He's no Sinatra, though, is he?
Smokey
Great.
fucking
Great.
Robinson. Oh no, he's like all about, connecting with the audience. I think.
He's a professional.
He's
Yeah.
very good. I'm gonna give him a 7.
I'd say 7. He's a professional.
I think we all need to like
But
just,
James, the way as I'll say in this genre, if James Brown is a 10,
What's
Smokey
Smokey?
Robinson is a 7. That's the way I see it. You
I don't
gotta
know,
think.
James is like, he is going for it and he's going crazy and he's doing show-stopping things constantly. But is he really looking at the audience and engaging with them?
Yeah,
I think
see what
Smokey
you
does
mean.
that a little more.
Presence is presence. See,
presence.
this category's got a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, because
I've
it's
encountered it 'cause it's
masturbatory if you're just like
performance.
just like spinning around in
performance.
circles and it's
almost
like Michael
like
Jackson.
It's almost like performance is more appropriate than stage presence.
I think
because
that stage presence is more like charisma and
Yeah.
connecting
It's
with
all
the audience.
It's all the same thing. Though.
Whereas
It's all
you're just like
connected.
masturbatorily like dancing
Listen,
around in circles. And,
Where would you put
Yelping.
like Patti Smith on this list?
oh my God, she connects 100%. The way she she's a poet and she's like, aside from her lyrics, if she's talking to the audience, she says like, and Beefheart does this too, and Joe Strummer does this too. You can talk about the most simple thing in the world and make it very simple and relatable and poignant and funny and timeless.
I once
You can
saw-
talk about a pair of socks and make it be the cutest thing you've ever heard to an audience of hundreds and thousands.
I once
You know
saw
what I mean?
Cat Power play, and all these people were screaming and crying and having a really good time because they were obviously connecting with her. But her
Because she's
show
vulnerable.
sucked, though.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I'm never.
So it's complicated, it's a complicated thing because like she was up there doing her thing. People loved it. They were like, it's okay, Kat. Like, keep going, keep trying. Because they were grief maximizers and they wanted it. She was going to bang like one of the guys in the front row after the stage. That's kind of cool. And like, that was her whole energy at the time. But she could barely play a song. So I wouldn't say that like just connecting with the audience.
No.
Can give you a
That's not
10.
the same thing as like someone like talking about something and relating to everybody on this, like can
that
really
counts.
beyond,
That counts for it. That counts
all
towards
connected.
it.
What-
It's all connected.
That counts
The-
towards it, but it doesn't give you like a perfect score. I agree. You gotta. It helps. It helps your cause, but I don't think that that. I think Smokey's an amazing performer. I've seen him.
He's
3
not famous
times.
for his performance, though.
I've seen him 3
No,
times
but
in the past 5 years, and
That's amazing. Where?
Casinos, mostly.
I saw him here at the PNE outside, and twice at casinos in Washington State. Where I drove down and went because he's my favorite. And his
Tulalip?
Damn.
Tulalip, yeah, and then the other
Absolutely.
one I can't remember which
Cheap
one.
Smokes.
The Emerald Queen. Thank you, Alex. The Emerald
Nice.
Queen Casino. Yeah.
Oh, say hi to your young bride for me.
Oh yeah, she's just in the washroom right now. I think she's had a shower or something.
It's a really good.
I
They
will.
really have like
Jessica says hello.
What's the floors called? You have like heated floors in their apartments.
There
Really
is a
nice.
heated floor in the bathroom. Yeah.
There's a word for that.
Fancy,
No,
Yeah.
it's a different word.
prancy.
It's a cool
fancy,
word.
Prancy pants.
No, they've got a name. I'm not going to Google it right now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Jessica, I'd like to just take this
radiant heating.
Radiant heating. Take this opportunity to sort of give you the floor. Because I know you had something that you wanted to say about the last time you were on the show.
I felt I couldn't sleep. Let me tell you, Johnny,
Wow.
I was spinning out when
Wow.
Have you tried edibles?
I realized all the mistakes and things that I said wrong.
We didn't hear anything like that.
Oh, I did. Like, James was like, "Oh, is that Lenny Kravitz?" And it was Lenny Kravitz in that video.
Lenny Kravitz.
His
What
wife,
video?
Lisa Bonet. Oh, The Spirit of the Forest.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Spirit of the Forest.
Spirit of the Forest.
Yeah,
Well,
that was
to
a
be
Which
good
was
fair,
the springboard.
we could have been
all-
just as easily wrong about that. You know, like,
I was just like, oh my God, he didn't really make his mark until, I think it was 87 when that video came out. I'm like, he didn't make his mark until 89, but I was wrong.
Well, I know a lot of people.
He
A
was
lot of people
famous.
came on to listen because they thought that you were a Lenny Kravitz
100%.
expert. That's the way I have advertised the
I just
show.
don't
I don't know if you
I
follow
listened
us,
to
but yeah.
I also
I
think it's
know.
worth mentioning
I said-
right now that
yeah.
only me and Johnny can see it, but Jessica's wearing a massive comedy-sized scarf as well.
Yeah.
What?
No, like Lenny, like you're a fan. You're a
Oh,
fan.
yeah.
You know.
And
think
leather
that you-
pants.
I think
And
what
leather
you're
pants.
thinking about is Let Love Rule that came out in '89, right?
Yeah,
Great.
maybe. But I guess he
Love
was
that album.
Johnny's
around.
a really big fan of Mama Said. Aren't
Other
you?
Yeah,
thing.
great album. Great album.
Other thing about that episode we did was I misspoke and said like, oh, $11 million was misplaced, but it was
Hundreds of
astronomical. It was
millions of dollars,
$111 million,
Yeah.
probably more. That was
Well, I
misplaced.
get it. I'll
went
throw
on
one.
Geldof.
With the
I'll
live
throw
age.
one in front of something all the time, or take one away for effect.
Except when ranking.
Except when ranking. Yeah,
I don't mind if
certainly.
I'm wrong about ranking, but when I'm wrong about
Yeah.
like facts.
Well, here's the thing
I gotta
about ranking.
say something
You
about it.
can't be wrong.
It doesn't
Because
it's
there
impossible.
is
agree.
no right answer. It's only what you feel. This is why
It's subjective as well. by the way.
and you're not. Nobody is. No. That's the thing. Our listeners, our fans, they don't judge you on your
Well,
ranking
that's
score
not true.
because
They can't. No, that's not true. They actually kind of TJ Mackey style quietly judge you. That's
right.
kind of the energy.
But
that
here's
we
the
have.
thing. Once they're allowed to do their own rankings, then there'll be no need because ranking is for everyone.
It is,
and
absolutely.
anyone can be ranked and will be ranked.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Speaking of which, Smokey Robinson, natural ability. Now think hard about this one.
Oh boy.
I don't think it's forced. I think it's 100% natural. 10.
well, so he's 10 technique and 10 natural.
I mean,
yeah.
for me, he's maybe the only one who might be that.
Okay,
only
well-
because of the fact that his songwriting from a young age and everything, his ability to sing, arrange, write, perform everything like is one of the top
I think that
all
one
time
of the
in
things that we
music.
need to think about here, and this is like a genuinely important point when it comes to natural ability and technique with soul singers, is not to fall into the pitfall that this is something that they're born with, And I think that with natural ability, in the case of Smokey, like obviously a man like him has worked so hard, to
Right.
formulate an identity vocally and a career, but when it comes to timbre of voice, it's just like so spot on that I would agree with you and say is really high, but I don't think that that's just like kind of ubiquitous with like soul music. I think that like a lot of people, I always remember like people being like, Annie Lennox worked so hard to like sound good, like as if it was something that like people are born with or something. But I think in his case, he is like majorly like, I've got this gift. I have this timbre, this like, I guess it's clarity of voice to some extent that he then was able to work at to become one of the best of all time. So I would say
100%.
similarly, I would give him like as close to a perfect score as anybody. I can't think of anyone except for like Sam Cooke who would be
Yeah.
like a 10.
That's true. In
Truly.
both. Sam Cooke is maybe the only other one I can think of too. Because even like a James Brown, I would say hardest working man in show
Exactly.
business. He
But he's
worked.
pushing his voice so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But then there's some guys who have that kind of like, there's going to be probably guys and girls who like score really high on natural ability, even though you know their technique score is going to be high. It's sometimes people will be high on both. Like Stevie Nicks will be high on both. Like, for example, because she has this timbre that she kind of has, but she harnesses it in a way that like really fucks your head up, like emotionally.
The harnessing is, I would say, is like trying more than your natural ability.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I like it. I'm not saying,
Yeah.
but I like it more than anything. Like I love Patti Smith striving to like get somewhere, and Kevin Rowland like putting on a totally
like
facade
different voices. Yeah.
voice
absolutely.
that he was not born with.
And these are techniques.
But I love that. I love that. I love because it shows so much passion about like what you're trying to do.
100%. And
I
what-
see now. I'm hearing.
Exactly.
I'm hearing
It's very
technique
interesting
in a new
what's
way.
happening
Yeah.
here. It's very.
I am.
It's very interesting because technique. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, Johnny, because I think you were going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's also singers like Paul Rodgers of Bad
Sure.
Company. Pure
Yeah.
technique.
Yeah.
Absolute pure. No real
Yeah, he's
emotion
just
in
like-
his voice.
It just
pure
falls out, just
technique.
like
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I also see what Jessica's saying
100%.
that technique. I'm with you 100%
We're
about
talking
Paul
yin
Rogers.
and yang here.
That technique also, yes, it's true that even if you don't have a good like natural ability isn't there.
Yeah.
Say you can through technique
Yes.
create an interesting say a Captain Beefheart or something.
Costello,
Yeah,
perhaps.
he is.
Even like a
Exactly.
Randy Newman. Randy Newman's kind
Randy.
of technique.
You can hear
you
them
know?
trying.
Yeah.
However, you cannot hear Nilsson trying. It just falls out of him.
No.
Like butter.
I'm hearing
Butter.
technique now all different
It's-
now a little bit.
You know what? I said yin yang. You know what? I'm going to go further. I'm going to say it's an Ouroboros.
Right.
I'm going to go that far. It's a snake eating its own tail. And this whole thing, it's kind of like the political spectrum. It's actually circular. A lot of people don't realize it. And I think that the technique, natural ability, Ouroboros, is that. It's just all one thing, man. You know?
Right.
We're just
But, yeah.
cosmic dust, you know?
But it's
You know
the
what?
one
The call comes back to Stardust.
to me.
It's so
To me,
crazy,
what
though,
were you
how that
bringing?
works.
Were you bringing someone like Smokey Robinson or whatever?
Yeah.
Is like. It's when the natural ability's all there,
Yeah.
but then they also hone the technique for him doing his mistakes.
exactly,
He does his
exactly that.
He pushes it a little bit.
and
at
he
the
gets
end.
he gets his specific vibratos and all that. Please forgive everyone for my trying to sing like Smokey Robinson, but and he gets his little vibratos, and he takes the natural ability, molds it through technique into the singer we know and love, which is why he's a 10 in both
I think you were
categories.
trying to do
Ew.
something more like this. You really got a hold on me.
You should have added
really
the
got a hold on me. That kind of smoky style
Sure.
sound, I think. That's what you were kind of thinking about.
yeah.
Baby!
Exactly. Well, you got it. I mean,
Away from here. I can't do it.
are we going 10 then for natural ability?
He does that breathy, baby, let's groove.
Yeah,
You
there's
know?
like that real breathy Sade thing.
Certainly. Or brandy, even.
And he can belt it. Though.
Yeah. Okay,
Then,
so we'll go
yeah.
10. Let's do sex appeal.
Ooh. He's
Fucking
got those
10.
amazing eyes.
Don't 10
And
him.
he fucking his skin just looked incredible, you know,
Don't
for
10 him, though.
decades.
Don't
He's
10
I'm gonna
high.
10 him
I'm gonna
for-
eight. I'm gonna aid him on that.
He aged
He's sexy
really
for
well.
Sure.
He aged well?
He really did.
He
I don't
did
think
age
he's a
well, for
10.
sure.
He's not a 10.
I say 8
100%.
for sex appeal.
Was
I
he
think-
a
I mean,
shagger
he's
in his
square,
day?
which
I mean,
is-
I guess so, yeah.
His squareness is very sexy, and his politeness,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
his
mean-
aging well. I think all of that leads to sex appeal.
Alex, Smokey Robinson, sex appeal. What? Alex says 8, and she loves Smokey.
8. Okay.
I think
Yeah,
we should
I
go
don't
with that. I mean, he
Maybe
is
I'm just
like,
kind of like thinking about his voice so much where I'm like,
he is
floored
also
by it.
like, yeah, he's kind of, not to say this correctly, like sort of like ethnically ambiguous in a way that like the future, it's like future people, like the future is like so much more beautiful than now. You know, he kind of has that like beautiful, like his eyes are amazing, you know, like, and
Very
blue eyes.
I think maybe green,
Yeah,
bright,
like
bright green
yeah,
eyes.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
But he's not a 10.
I remember when I saw him at Emerald Queen Casino.
Emerald, there you go.
We were in the elevator, and this sort of like older woman was in there, and she was playing some blackjack or something in the elevator. She was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" She was from the South, I think, and we said we're going to see Smokey Robinson, and she said, "Oh, I always loved those green eyes. Always
you
got me
go.
when I was a young
So they're
girl."
green. What's up with that? Like what? I don't.
I think maybe I'm not sure that. I'm not too sure. Maybe one of his parents is white. I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
I don't think
I have
so.
no idea, but
I don't think so, but maybe like I don't know.
beautiful man. But I don't think he's a 10.
I think he's. I think if we're going,
Who's
by,
10 for
like,
you, Jess?
sex appeal?
Yeah.
Who's the sexiest?
That's so hard. Like I'm gonna. What I was about to say about Smokey, it has to go by like decade, but then there's
For sure.
early decade, late decade. So there's like
Yeah.
two eras within each decade.
Well, you think
of
about his
sex appeal.
pinnacle. Think about him in peak Smokey.
Peak Smokey is 10. He's killing it in
He's
all
your
the
top.
categories.
He's at the top for you.
Not. I have to like think about early 60s is probably sex appeal is gonna be he's gonna be up there, but
Is he higher than everyone in the
gotta
early
see.
60s?
I don't know. Let me look at my
Exactly.
list.
So he's not a 10.
I mean, Bob Marley.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
but he
Bob
could
Marley
still be-
in
I
the
rest
early
my case.
60s.
He
Boing.
could still be a 10. Like you could have 10 people who are 10s. Like it's
He's
only
not a
out
10.
of 10.
He's not a 10.
You don't only have one who's
If we're
anyway.
going late 60s and like Sid Barrett,
Sid Barrett before Insanity,
Jesus
really hot
Christ,
for sure.
really
yeah.
good
Ice
looking
cream,
dude.
excuse me, seeing you look. Sorry, hang on one second.
and-
Actually,
and-
before I do that, let me just get the appropriate effects here. Ice cream, excuse me, seeing
not
you
on.
looking good the other evening. Sorry about that.
Can't-
Just kind of didn't want to do the madcap laughs.
Okay, so we both said 8.
Not-
Alex said 8. Jess said 10. So that's an 8. That's three
exactly.
8.
We
so.
judge it like we judge diving in the Olympics. Exactly.
Okay, another guy that you haven't talked about. Okay, let's move on to Smokey, please.
You got
No,
5
we
minutes.
haven't
Or not
finished
finished.
You got 5
Smokey.
minutes. You got 5 minutes to finish.
Dion,
Smokey.
you guys haven't talked about Dion.
What?
Dion's great. I
Dion's
considered
cool.
him.
Okay,
I considered
we
him.
got to finish this up. We got to wrap this
What?
up. We're not wasting.
Great singer,
Hey,
great
listen, I'll
singer.
do another hour with you, but I'm not doing it
I
on
can't.
for free.
I
so
can't.
we
Okay,
got
here-
5 minutes to wrap up the rest of it.
We
This
gotta
is why
finish some-
ranking's really hard.
It's
It is
very
hard.
I mean, we could do another episode late in the week. I mean,
How-
we could
how-
finish
how
Smokey
many?
off. We're only halfway through. We're at 58 minutes and we're only halfway through.
Come on, let's finish it up here.
Legacy. I won't do it quickly. We need to do a second one. I'll do a couple more, but I'm not. The problem is when we did this. We went through this with the last 2 categories. Oh, we've only got a minute. We've got to go through the last 2 categories. And
Yeah.
they're fucked.
Yeah.
Johnny, they're
Yeah.
fucked.
All right.
So we can do legacy here. I mean, okay.
Oh fuck, we're trying to finish the
Unfortunately.
category. Jesus Christ, I'm so
Unfortunately.
annoyed.
We picked a weird one
Why-
today because he might be my highest score.
Wait,
James,
does the Zoom
honestly.
thing run out after an hour?
No.
Like, why are you guys rushing?
Well, the show's only an hour long. And
So
I
what?
have to have dinner, kind of.
Break the rules.
Don't bring in that punk mentality to a classic rock podcast.
Your rules suck. Like, just talk when you have something to say. You know.
Well, didn't we?
I mean, you're trying to like continue with categories for Smokey. to give him
we
a
have
total
to.
score?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it. Okay, let's do
That's
it.
how
Let's
it
do
works.
Let's do it.
That's how ranking works. Otherwise, he could be like a kind of Russian athlete right now. We disqualify him right here with 5 categories. He's going to score pretty good anyway, but
That
you know,
would be a
crime
such a
against
shame.
humanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Was
let's
Smokey
just- we'll
involved in
finish-
any of the? Sorry, to harken back to our first episode.
100%.
Was he in any of the? Was he in Live Aid? Was he a singer?
Interesting. I don't know if he partook in any of that stuff.
You would think
USA
you
for
would
Africa?
think.
See, that
You
would
would
give him a
think.
higher legacy
I
score.
can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A higher, really?
If he wasn't in them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Respect.
exactly.
If he wasn't in them,
That's something to consider. If he was,
Well-
if he managed to stay out of that bullshit, he's going to do better for
I
Jess.
can't remember. I cannot remember. We
He's
gotta look
pretty
it up.
clean. I mean, his legacy's pretty strong, regardless. Not a 10, though.
What
I mean, his legacy.
his legacy? Why wouldn't you say it's 10?
Because you can't give someone 10 in every category. He's one of the best ones from Motown, but he's not the best.
Who's the best?
He might be the best for me, but still, I'm
didn't-
with you.
Okay,
I'm with
sure.
you. I'm with you. I'm with you. It's got to be high, though. I mean,
it's
this, like
high.
I said, this is one of the guys who's going to be the top. Like
For you,
near
yeah.
the top. And we're getting into some categories, aren't? Well, Smokey's pretty amazing.
You know what? I have
yeah.
categories that are beyond your guys' scope. But let me start with the both of you. James, when's your birthday?
28th of May.
So end of May, early June. Not Gemini, but you're
I'm
a.
Gemini.
You are a Gemini.
Of course I am.
Okay. Paul McCartney, Prince, Johnny. When's your birthday?
October 18th,
Scorpio,
Libra.
Libra. Fucking Libra.
John Lennon. Wait.
Okay.
So James is a Paul McCartney sign, and I'm John Lennon's sign.
That's right.
interesting.
That's backwards.
Never thought about that really.
Okay. Rock
My
and roll
birthday's
astrology
also-
could be the next.
Same
'Cause
as my birthday's the same as Chuck Berry.
I've got Barry
That
Gordy
tracks.
of
for
Motown,
sure.
but also
I got Kylie Minogue.
I'm going to say that most of the guitar players that shredability with
That would be
rhythm
technique.
ability.
That would be
but-
natural ability.
But do you know what I mean? Yeah, natural ability. Were you guys touching on this? Like a lead guitar player that can do
Yeah.
rhythm,
Both.
like just slide into rhythm like
Kinda
real
power.
well.
Versatility.
And have like
Versatility.
really
That would be
versatility,
versatility,
but
yeah.
like that rhythm is like unique unto that guitar player.
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
most of those guitar players are Sagittarius.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
well,
Hendrix
you know,
being one.
this seems
Keith
like-
Richards being one.
interesting. There's only about 3 that can do that. By
I
the
think
way.
I think that we need to do another episode.
But Prince is a Gemini who
Prince
can
is
do
going
that.
to be
and
like, for me,
he's-
I think Prince is going to be like, I assume he's going to be with Bowie top dogs in this. I can't see any of these categories that he's not going to get like 9 in. It's really hard
Sure.
to imagine. So
Sure.
I'm scared to do those.
But
Jess,
he didn't
I
make
think-
his mark before 19. Well, he kind of did make his mark before in 1980,
We'll get
which
to
is
it.
your.
We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing this for a long, long time.
You guys, Alex has made me dinner and I have to go. I'm sorry.
Okay.
respect
but,
that.
But I think
Sagittarians
we
and
need,
Geminis, look it up. 6 months apart. It's a thing.
Jess,
we need to
are you
do
free
another-
tomorrow night.
I'm going to see Nick play in the Devin Williams band tomorrow night.
Well, that's
oh,
really
that's amazing.
important.
Devin's playing tomorrow?
he is, and
You
I'm
guys-
not playing in it. How about
Oh,
that?
too bad.
We got to finish Smokey at some point.
We will, but also I want to do another episode where we just talk about rock and roll astrology with you. I think
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
I think
Super
we could do
down.
a segment, basically.
100%.
Okay,
100%.
I gotta go. Thank you so much for being on the show, Jess. We'll do it again soon.
I've
Say
saved
hi
the
to Devin.
scores.
Anytime.
No, we'll
scores
finish
are saved.
Smokey over text, and we'll let everybody know. Maybe.
No,
or
I think
For
we should
sure.
finish it like man to man, or woman
right,
to woman
sounds
on
good.
International Women's Day, but only
Say
one
hi
day.
to Devin for me, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to see him tomorrow night.
Have a
Great.
really nice dinner. It's really nice to talk to you, Jess.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Great.
Bye, guys.
Great to see you guys.
You too.
Yeah, totally.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Adios.